Good morning. Can you see me and hear me? I'm a little early. Thank you, love. All right. Let me make sure this is right. I'm not echoey, right? Because I have both screens on. All right, let's get started. If everyone can please, pretty please check out the podcast that I posted yesterday. It's very, very, very important to me. It's the whole point of this channel was to lead to that. So if you could please watch either the full episode would be great, or at least the chapter 1 that I just posted, which is like a clipped down version of the full episode, or like the first half hour of the full episode. Okay, let me go. Will we be moving to a new house within the next year and a time frame? I think it's a little slower than a year. I think that things still need to come together. I do think that you're heading in that direction. It's what, 2025? I feel like by 2027, but I feel 2026 is more significant than 2025, though. Why did R choose to lie for 9 years? There's your manipulation. Because it's stemming from an unworthiness wound, this feeling like the truth makes me look bad, but I'm impulsive and I can't correct the truth. Like I can't choose better, so I just lie. And it feels like it's a them problem. My Uncle Greg died. I can't feel him. Did he cross over properly? Did he quickly? Okay, so this is speed. This is like nothing's wrong. And then this is like patience, like wait for it. Almost like this. It's not that he can't reach out to you. It's more that he's either giving you that space to grieve or that space to come to the proper understanding of what he'd be communicating to you. So it's not that anything's wrong. I would say, yes, he crossed over properly. It's just like from his perspective, waiting for the proper time, I guess. Did my uncle HN really unalive himself this past Friday? Oh no, I'm sorry. And why did or something more nefarious happen? So the Hermit in reverse is extreme isolation. The World in reverse is like extreme isolation right before the ending, which would lead me to believe I was alone when this happened. Queen of Cups in reverse is like emotional turmoil that I feel at odds with. Like I don't have the tools to nurture myself in this emotional turmoil is kind of how I'd word that. So for why, like what was the shadow that he was embodying? Memory fog. Forgetting as a shield from pain. It's kind of like I was unable to numb it anymore. I was unable to push it out of my mind anymore. It got too loud is kind of how I want to word that. Insight as to why my weight loss journey plateaued and what to do about it. Feeling like you are unable to control the timeline or the outcome. Feeling like you don't have the control. What does that bring up in you? Because the external blockage is simply a reflection of the internal blockage, and what is coming to the surface is how do you treat yourself when you feel like you're not in control? Do you self-sabotage, or can you come up with different ways to try to find a way around the obstacle? So like maybe my body's used to this, so I'm going to try this instead. Or are you going to kind of give up on yourself? I feel like that's what's being tested. When will I get a job? Well, there's the job. I feel like, okay, so there's a need for patience. I feel like 7 is significant. So either in between July and 7 months from July feels significant. It feels like someone that you haven't talked to yet, like an interview you haven't had yet is the one that ends up landing you the job, as opposed to one that you've already interviewed for and you're waiting for something. Message for the week. Message for the week. It almost feels like there's this conversation internally that you need to find a way to like use it to create external change, but you're having a difficult time translating it internal to external. There's a need to kind of sit with yourself and figure out where the imbalance is coming from with what you want to happen versus what you're doing to make that happen, if that makes sense. Thank you, Lorna. Everyone, please, please, please. You know, I never really ask even to like or share. If everyone can please just watch. Just like pick like 10 minutes and just like watch it for a little bit. Please. Pretty please. Messages from my mom. Messages from my mom. You'll find peace when you accept that what is meant for you will never pass you by. I know you wish things had happened differently, but I hold no anger, only love for what we had. I almost feel like there's this like shoulda, coulda, woulda, and this is highlighting like there's a need to let that go. Like there was a need that things that were said or weren't said either were or weren't, and there's a release in knowing that like even if it's not what you want it to happen, the best version of that situation is what occurred, if that makes sense. Let It Be by the Beatles. A message from Ella. A message from Ella. Ooh. If you could feel what I feel now, you'd know that nothing was ever broken, only becoming. I was wrong about not saying I'm sorry when I should have. Feels like there's this energy of like, I know what the message said, but I feel like this is an encouragement of self-forgiveness. Like Ella encouraging you to engage in some kind of self-forgiveness that feels necessary at this time. Any messages for the rest of this month? I'm going to go to the other list in 1 minute. Actually, move this over. I can see it. Okay. Any messages for the rest of the month? There's a need to focus on like a leak in your own cup, right? So like first we need to identify where the hole is, and then we need to patch the hole. And this is like in regard to like either energy levels, self-love, no, it's one of those energy levels or self-love. Like there's a need to correct course before things snowball. Like right now you're at the I can loop back around and go through the lesson again, or I can go on a new path. And the choice is very important. Any spiritual messages for me and a song? I'm in the wrong playlist. Darkest Places by Abstract is the song. Darkest Places. Trust the shifting in energy from anyone in your life right now. If someone's pulling back, if you feel called to pull back, if you feel called to change the dynamic of relationships, especially ones that feel to be in a comfort zone or feel to be operating from autopilot, trust that right now. Trust like where you're being led with relationships, especially ones that feel to be distancing. Just see what shifts in your life if you allow the distance with like an energy of detachment. I'm waiting for surgery. When will that happen? When will that happen? Is there like is there some kind of back and forth like with you and like I don't know the insurance or like something? This feels like upon the ending of some kind of back and forth, things are able to speed up, but it feels like there's a delay in the back and forth part, if that makes sense. Um 8 8 to 11 feels significant, so I don't know if that time frame is weeks or months, depending on, like, your situation, but 8 to 11, either weeks or months feels significant. Again, depending on how far along you are on the process already. Should I start looking to buy a house instead of renting? Oh my god, that's so much better. Should I start looking to buy a house instead of renting? Starting to give me a headache. I'm like, "Why can't I see anything?" I start to buy a house instead of renting. I don't feel like the time is yet. I feel like there's like needing to get more like ducks in a row. Either like more of a nest egg or something like that. It just feels like right now you can build to go in that direction, but I wouldn't jump the gun right now and do that. I would say at least rent for maybe one more year. Was there foul play in my uncle's death by his hand or others? Was there foul play? Was there foul play? A trusted surrender that was decided by exploration. A trusted surrender that was decided by exploration that led to a death. A trusted surrender. No, feel like not foul play, more like a like if the foul play was coming from somewhere, it feels to be his own mind, like his own mind playing with him. Would that make sense? Like his mind was what the foul play was. Not like in like a foul like a my own mind deceiving me way type of thing. I'm gonna pull one of these for you, Amber. Let's see. What is the shadow that if you can dismantle it, it sets you free right now? The wound of the held breath, afraid to exhale in case it all falls apart. Yeah. Yep. This wound arises when safety feels so fragile, you learn to brace yourself emotionally, physically, and spiritually. You stay quiet, still, composed, as if deep breath might break the illusion of control. It can leave you tense, hyper aware, and disconnected from the ease of being fully at home in your body and life. So grounding will allow you to take that deep breath that feels like you haven't been able to take in a really really long time. Here's to Moving On by Dashboard Confessional just started playing too. Mhm. Spirit said I said what I said. Where was I? Should we rent or did I do that one? No. Should we rent or buy the building for our shop? Should we rent or buy the building for our shop? I would say rent for a bit longer. This feels like there's a need to mature the logic behind the plan of buying. Like, not that you can't because it's eventual, but something in the logic of the planning needs reevaluation. How is Steven feeling now? Free? Free from emotional pressure or free from emotional like, you know, the Chinese water torture, like when they just drip the water on someone's forehead. That's what I'm seeing right now. It's like I felt like there was this, and now I feel like I'm freed from that. Like that consistent like drip that feels painful now is released, if that makes sense. Thank you, love. Again, anyone who wants to watch the podcast, I would appreciate it very much so. I have another one coming out next week with another guest. And I have a couple more guests lined up for the next couple weeks too. That will be also very interesting. I had another troubling dream about dogs. My friend's dog and another were kidnapped, and I saw it happen. Why am I having dreams about dogs in trouble? Were you numbing yourself from something? Because you know those commercials where like the dog shelter commercials that everyone's always like, I can't watch those. This is that for you. It's like encouragement to unnumb. Like feeling your feelings because in another area you had shut them off. So it's like if the ice cubes melted and things are unnumbed, then you can flow, even if it's like by this and not by addressing the actual reason for the initial numbing. Will I have an increased influx of income over the next few months? No. It feels like there's slow. Okay, there right now you're shedding. Like, so what isn't working? Let's get rid of what's not working before we make changes and expect that increase, right? This is like what's not working first. Let's stop doing that. Let's disengage from that. And then let's focus on now, let's bring in. So it feels like there's some things, whether they're habits, hobbies, expenditures, there's certain things that need to be looked at and addressed. And then after that, changes can be made to put it in that direction. Does mom have a message for my brother and me? Does mom have a message for my brother and me? Lotus by Janine Akio. I'm not saying that right. I don't know how to say her name, to be honest with you. Winter holds a message for you. Your emotions run deeper in the winter. Use this time for reflection. Look through others. An old conversation holds a clue. What was said before I passed? Drawing conversation to a conversation from that time period, from winter before she passed. It's almost like maybe you were asking her something about that conversation in your mind or in your heart, and she's confirming what you know to be the answer by bringing that up specifically. It kind of feels like a response to something that you already were engaged in with her, like in conversation wise. And or there's some kind of answer if you do look back at that conversation now. Better Days by Dermont Kennedy. Better days are coming if no one told you. You were never meant to carry this alone on the bottom. So something about leaning on one another as well. Come together right now. Maybe one of you needs support more than others, and there's a need to like bring that together. Message for the week with a token. It's a medal, like a trophy type medal. You're going towards the victory. It's interesting because like this was the last card, but I thought I was out of room, so I put it in the front instead of over here. But it's like, no, it's not time yet. It's meant to be over here. Movement, waiting, not going forward yet. It's like what you want is right around the corner, but you're not there yet. There's a need for patience. This is about waiting. This is about like there's a blockage here that's being removed so that forward movement can happen. So the waiting is part of the forward movement. Part of the forward movement is like hurry up and wait almost, right? So what you want is around the corner, but there's a need to be patient. Yeah, Two of Wands. Taking a step back to take a step forward. Take a step back to see what you wouldn't be able to see as clearly. Like, you know how if you're standing really close to a movie screen, it's like pixelated, you can't really see. But if you back up, you're like, oh, that's a whole scene. That's in effect what this is. It's like when you take that step backwards, you'll be able to see how to get to what you want, that like metal reward. Are Charlie's intentions pure? Should I block him? I would read this as avoidant. Like it's not that I want to hurt you, but it is that I'm really looking out for myself more so than anything else. And I'm going to kind of create a little bit of distance here. If it feels like my independence is being blanketed. I'm concerned about getting what I want when I want it, even if it means that that's not what's best for you. So it's like not that I have bad intentions, but I'm more of like an opportunist, is how I'd word that. What soul contract is influencing my current physical or emotional pain? What soul contract? The one with yourself. The one with this rebirth that requires you to not view it as selfish to give yourself that which you need to have your cup be full. It's like a you versus you thing right now. Like the healing's right there. Worthy self-worth is what allows you to reach out and grab it or not. So it feels like that's the challenge right now. Message from my Uncle Frank. Song or token? Like a yoga namaste position. You can do it was on the back of that card. I want you to open your heart to the beauty that still surrounds you. There's something you need to let go of because you deserve peace, not punishment. So this is like namaste. Peace comes from living in the moment and not in what is unresolved in the recent past. Something feels unresolved, but it feels unresolved because the closure is meant to come from you shifting perspective on how you view the situation and not the situation itself. What do my spirit guides want me to know in a song? Call on Me by Starly. Call on Me. What do your spirit guides want you to know? It's like right now, you may find that you're being a little bit of impulsive because there's a pain that you're avoiding and they're kind of encouraging you to lean on them to kind of get your power back in some way. So it's almost like reconnect spiritually to defeat the feeling of impulsiveness, because the feeling of impulsiveness is coming from feeling like you have to run, and the feeling of having to run is coming from the shadow that has surfaced. I have a spirit message from my brother and a song. Reverse. Oh, this one says I'm sorry on the back of it. I was wrong about not appreciating the present while I had it. You don't have to be afraid of change. It's only leading you somewhere new. So right now your strength is being tested and you're being encouraged to almost like embrace the last really difficult lesson. Like the pain that you just experienced, it was uncomfortable, but it taught you something. What did it teach you, and how can you use that right now? What does the universe want me to remember during the month of April 2025? Thank you. What does the universe want me to remember during April? Sometimes that you don't get what you want, but it's so that there's space for you to get what you need. Sometimes closed doors are leading us to a whole different, more inviting opening. Sometimes the timing feels unfair, but is actually in our favor, even though it's not in our control. Guidance and song for a week. Healing by Fletcher. And thank you. Everyone go check out the podcast. I'm going to keep saying that a lot. I think I might do a giveaway for people watching the podcast. I'll post that later. Guidance and healing. Guidance and song for a week. This is the week where you're finally going to sit and acknowledge exactly which part of you you felt like you weren't allowed to see. Like there's a part of you that over this last chapter, the pain that you were experiencing caused you to say, I can't see this part of me right now. And that part of you needs to come with you in the next chapter. So that part of you needs to be seen again. So your guidance for this week is to sit down and like either write it out or talk it out or do a reading on it. Like what part of you needs to be seen again? That's the key. Revamping my Etsy shop has greatly improved. Oh, yay. What should my next step be? Oh, that's good. Exploring a competitive edge diligently. Exploring a competitive edge diligently. Exploring competitive edge diligently. What? Okay. So you do your thing, right? Who does the things similar to you, right? Like it's like teaching or guiding or like steps of something, showing steps of something. Almost like a could you offer something that teaches either like how you do what you do or how you learn to do like something like that, it feels like. And maybe offering that as like a okay, you can get this free intro version, or then you can get this like medium length version or this like longer length version, something like that is kind of, because if you do the lower price for the intro version, it'll push that out at that price and then they can increase the price amount. You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. Will Spirit give me any clues about the guy who's going to ask me on a date and a token? Music. Music and the star in reverse. It's almost like this person checks all the boxes except you don't have the same taste in music. And it feels like that's important to you. Not that that's like a deal breaker, but it's almost like when they tell you their favorite artist or something, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I don't like that. This is probably the person. Like, I don't know why that's the symbol, but that's what I'm getting. It's like they have a lot to offer, but apparently not music taste, maybe. I have had 2 recent dreams of robotic cats. In the dreams, the cats appear to be sweet and innocent, but they have an evil vibe. What is the meaning behind these dreams? I'm gonna guess that you probably don't go near the cat in these dreams because this feels symbolic of a lesson that you learned in the past where don't 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 give anyone, I guess even if it's a cat, the benefit of the doubt until you see proof of them showing you who they actually are. Feels like this is like a different perspective on a past lesson is kind of what I would say. Is there something I'm missing in Maddie's case? Is there something I'm missing in Maddie's case? The informant. Double-edged motive. Their information may serve a hidden agenda. The informant. Four of Cups. Two of Wands. Someone gave bad info, bad intel, bad information. Maybe not on purpose, but it skewed something. Something's wrong. Something that is viewed as solid is wrong, and when it's put in the right place will help the other puzzle pieces fit. Message from my higher self about the rest of the month, please. Message from my higher self. There's a need to meet your own expectations and not focus on meeting the expectations of others. Almost like there's a decision to make, and if you do it focused on what others expect of you, you're gonna not make the wrong decision, but make the decision that makes you loop back around instead of just going forward. So there's a need to focus on what's best for you right now. And I almost dropped the 10 of Pentacles on the ground. So like quite literally disregard other people's opinions about things that they don't have to deal with the consequences of that you do. Message from Grandpa and a token. Salt shaker. There's no book for that. Salt shaker. I was wrong about thinking I had all the time in the world. Look through others. An old conversation holds a clue. What was said before I passed? I was wrong about thinking I had all the time in the world. I was wrong about. Salty about something that I wish I had gone forward and said before I passed the last time that I was at someone's house, at your house maybe, or the last time you were at their house. Almost like I held back something that I wanted to say, and I wish that I didn't do that. And I tried to give you that in messages now that I wasn't able to give you then. Oh, I'm sorry. I just called to say I love you. I mean, I guess that's probably part of it feels like more than that, but that's probably part of the message. Message from my paternal grandmother and a song. This is not the song. Hold on. Don't Stop by Fleetwood Mac. If you could see what I see now, you'd realize how far you've already come. The truth I see now is nothing was ever as permanent as it seemed. How far you've already come, nothing was ever as permanent as it seemed. You've faced harder than whatever it is that you're facing right now. But it's like you're forgetting that, or you're not taking that into account because you're very wrapped up in this like feeling like you're being blocked right now. But if you look back, you've already climbed a harder ladder. And whatever it is, nothing's ever as permanent as it seems. There's this energy of like, this too shall pass. Like, just keep remembering this too shall pass. That will bring you back to the present moment. Can you tell me about the bird who flew into my room through a narrow gap in the window, stunned himself on my headboard, and landed on my pillow? I held it while it recovered and it flew off okay. Bird. Is this a crow? Not a crow. What's those little blackbird with like the bright eyes is what I'm seeing. I don't know if that's the bird it was. This feels like it's symbolic of like okay, so I fly into something, I'm discombobulated, I'm nurtured by you back to being okay, and then I fly off. Symbolic of the way you did that for yourself, right? Like you had to learn to be that for you because other people weren't for you. Just like this, you shouldn't have been having to do it for the bird because the bird should be outside, but now the bird's inside and you're doing this. So it's like symbolic of that, like how you became that for you when no one else was watching, but then you had to free the version of you that was ready for the world. During my reading, you said waiting on me for the next step, and my dog Elroy was going to have a sharp decline. Clarity on the family matter that I need to step up for. Waiting on me for the next step, sharp decline. It's like the example I'm getting, like, okay, so let's say like a hip is out of place or something, and then it's like we need to find a way to now have a new routine, a new structure for this. So it's like there's a decline, but there's a decline that makes things slower, more held back, but at the same time, strength is here. So there's a way to manage it, if that makes sense. It's just like we need to figure out a new way to be now with that. Family matter. A conversation where people are holding back and not saying everything that they want to say, but there's a need for that. There's a need for more expression to find a solution. If your dad, Harold, has a message for you, what would your dad want to tell you? You can't always get what you want by the Rolling Stones. Chocolate may also be important. I need you to trust that the answers will come when you're ready to receive them. The truth you've been avoiding is letting go isn't the same as forgetting. Answers will come when you're ready to receive them. Letting go isn't the same as forgetting. Something that you're hyper focusing on understanding. The understanding will come in time. But when you chase something, it pushes it further away. There's a need to kind of let yourself detach from needing to know everything about what you don't know yet right now and trust that the answers are being revealed to you if you give them space to come through. News. It's like getting all the details of something each week with like the newspaper. Like it's coming in a little bit at a time. Message from A. Message from A. Spring is when you'll understand nature itself will guide you. Watch for the timing of butterflies, rain, or messages during sunrise. What I didn't understand before was that the best moments were the ones I didn't appreciate at the time. This is like I need to get you a message, but I can only get you a message if you're present. So there's a need for grounding. It's like a message that comes to you through your thoughts or through your intuition or through your noticing of certain signs in combination with certain thoughts or music or something. It's almost like the message is I'm trying to reach you, but you're not present enough to answer the phone, right? So it's like the more you can ground yourself, the more you can hear me. Don't Stop Believing by Journey on the back. What is my soul's contract, this life purpose? To go into the darkness, bring out publicly the wisdom that you earned or learned, and to do something with it that helps the collective. That could be very many things, but that's like the theme behind it is what did you learn in your darkness? Whether that's like emotional darkness or like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. Now I need to figure it out darkness. But when you didn't know what was surrounding you and you went on a journey of figuring it out, how can you share who you became from that? Because our purpose is not what we do, it's who we become while we're doing what we do. How did Kyle feel about his gift? Did he actually like it? It was a memorial gift for a cat he just had to put down. I think he just doesn't want to feel his emotions. It's like I want to remain very okay. I don't almost like I don't feel like I should be as emotional as I feel like I'm going to be if I let my emotions out. So I'm just going to keep them in because I feel like the amount of emotions I'd have if I let them out would be too much for my like who I show people I am, if that makes sense. So I feel like it's not a matter of like or don't like. It's like I appreciate, but I also don't want to feel. What wound or energetic cord is ready to be cleared? What is the energetic cord with a certain shadow that's ready to be healed? Abandoned inner child. Left behind in your own story. This wound forms when the most tender parts of you are neglected, dismissed, or silenced by others or yourself. You learn to survive by pushing those pieces away. It can leave you feeling empty, disconnected, or yearning for the safety and love that you never received. So, seeing your inner child, releasing your inner child, embodying that mindset of the inner child feeling supported. Why is it hard for me to laugh? What changed? Why is it hard for me to laugh? You don't trust yourself to be seen. There's like a hesitancy to be perceived. This feels associated with like a fear of failure with this Three of Pentacles. Like, ego dissolution, disorientation, loss of identity, or emotional instability after a shift in your sense of self. It may cause confusion around your purpose and difficulty rebuilding a grounded sense of self, requiring time, self-compassion, and spiritual guidance. It's almost like it feels like something happened that made you feel like you didn't know who you were in the moment. And like in that moment, it caused this like disassociation almost of like, okay, I'm not ready to deal with that at the moment. Let me deal with that when I'm ready. But now it's like almost like this avoidance to go back to that moment, if that makes sense. Should I change therapist and which route to go down on my therapy? Should I change therapist? Change, don't change. Putting the burden down and surrendering, don't. If you don't, you're unsure about if there's fair or equal give and take. I'm wondering, I don't feel like you feel I think your dilemma is that you have a good therapist, but the therapist is not listening to exactly how you need to be therapied. Like it's almost like you're subconsciously saying what would work a little bit better for you and the person's not really hearing you. So I feel like there's a conversation that could be had in like a direct way of like, hey, okay, let me just spell it out for you. This is what I need from you. Can you do it or no? And if not, maybe start looking at different ones. Yeah, this one. Which root? What's the shadow that is important to be unpacking for you right now in therapy? The wound of the invisible cry. Okay, so that would make sense then. Why, if there is a mismatch in therapists, it's because the wound is feeling like you're having an invisible cry, and the person's making you feel like what you're asking for, like you're kind of invisible. Um, Suffering unseen, unheard, unheld. This wound forms when your pain goes unnoticed, whether it's because you hid it, were taught to minimize it, or were surrounded by those who couldn't hold it. You learn to cry in silence and cope alone. It can leave you feeling abandoned in your darkest moments and unsure if your needs are worth naming. Oh, so this is the test of sorts where you're meant to just ask for what you need. Like, hey, I'm not really getting this from you, and I feel like this is what I need from you. Can we do this or not? Feels like that. Is the path Sarah and I are taking the right one that will lead to healing? Is the right one that will lead to healing? It's the right one to get you to the right one. It's like you're right where you need to be to get to where you want to go. So are you right where you need to be yet? Sorry, this clip is giving me a headache. Are you right where you need to be yet? No. But like you wouldn't be able to find that path that you're meant to be finding if you weren't where you are right now. So I feel like there's learning to be done still, but you're heading in the right direction. Just expect some kind of pivot eventually. Is it important to stock up on supplies before the tariffs take effect? Will prices skyrocket and will there be shortages? Uh, I would say okay, so it feels like this. It feels like there's going to be like an up and down. Like we have a problem, we have a temporary solution. Temporary solution is temporary, and then the second time the problem resurfaces, then it's like a longer standing problem. So I feel like it's important now, but it's more important later because the first hit is temporary, if that makes sense. It's like a up and down. Like okay, problem, solution stops working, bigger problem. That's how I'm seeing it. Is it time for me to invest in a new computer? Lots of lagging on my old laptop. Old laptop, new laptop. So putting down the burden, yes, because I feel like it's frustrating you. But like, could you do this where it's like make it a manifestation tool? Like, when I hit X amount of subscribers, when I get X amount of people, like make it a goal for you so that you can associate that with like, because now every time I'm using my computer, I'm like, oh, I reached a goal and that's why I have this. So it's like it puts you in that further manifesting mindset. Manifestating. Making up new words. 1 year. Oh, 1 year. I've had these open for a year. What is going on with my relationship? Is it me? What do I need to focus on to fix? And a song. A Little More by MGK. Hold on, I'm trying to run through the lyrics in my mind. I scream at the top of my lungs. I scream and I'm not being heard. I scream and I'm not being heard. Five of Pentacles in reverse. I'm coming out. I'm screaming and I'm not being heard. I'm trying to save this and I'm not being heard. Yes. Okay. Um, is it you? No. You're screaming and not being heard. You're like, hey, this is what could make this better. This is what could fix this. This is, and it just feels like even if you're being acknowledged, you're not being truly heard or like understood. Why? It's easier to not address it for the other person. What do you need to focus on to fix? not accepting non-answers or non-solutions, like almost like an example in my mind is, okay, but we've talked about this before. Okay, well, nothing came from that. So now we're going to have to talk about it again so there can actually be progress. Like, it feels like that's the kind of conversation that needs to be had. But no, I don't feel like it's you. I do feel like it's triggering a certain shadow in you, though. So, you know, we all have some responsibility in everything that happens. So what is the shadow that's being thrown on the floor? Hold on. The scar of the wound of wonder. Oh, so it's like it's something that you need to learn how to show up differently for yourself because it's a scar. It's something that's never really going to all the way go away. The scar of the wound of wonder, all lost in cynicism or trauma. I feel like it's at the point where you've tried so many things that you know if the other person doesn't show up differently, it's not going to work, and you know you can't control that person, so you're unsure how to get them to show up in the way that would allow things to be fixed. Token, song, general message. Fire and Gold by B. Miller is the song. Salt shaker again. I need to stir that more. Salt shaker. There's a need to move forward without an apology that you don't need. It's almost like you get more out of giving yourself the closure that you're not going to get from the situation than you ever could from the person or people involved in the situation giving you the closure. Spirit guidance for my upcoming case study. Stop worrying so much. Surrender. Stop worrying so much. Be patient with yourself. Maybe like literal meditating before certain things, or maybe starting now and making that more of a part of your routine. It just feels like the only one that could get in your own way here could potentially be your own mind in some way. Message for the week and a song. Message for the week and a song. It feels like you're going to be seeing someone else's karma from afar, but you're not meant to gloat or like bloat anything. Like it's like you're meant to just be like, okay, but it's something you need to see so that you can move forward. Like it's something that you're not meant to gloat, but you're meant to know so that you can release this like feeling of like unfair. Yeah, it's like almost like there's some part of your mind that you were avoiding until this situation's wrapped up, and this is helping you wrap it up so you can get back in that side of your mind. The Lovers. A decision that you made a decision, you worried it was the wrong one. You're about to see why it was the right one because you're about to see from afar how something fell apart, and if you would have been there, you would have been in the crumbling of it. 10 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. That's the crumbling. Will my car be able to be repaired? My car be able to be repaired? Kind of makes me feel like yes, but it's one of those things where it's like, do you want it's going to be X amount out of pocket or this or that? Like, is it worth it to fix? Like, I feel like this is something where they'll be like, we can fix it, but like, here's the caveat. Do you want to still fix it because of blank? I kind of feel like it's going to be something that may be left up to you and whether or not you want to spend or wait or something like that. Or maybe there's like two different options you can choose from. We can save it or we can give you money for this type of thing. Message from my dad. Message from my dad. This is the sign you're waiting for. It was on the back of that one. If you follow the signs, you'll notice synchronicities aren't coincidences, they're confirmations. Oh, that was your confirmation, a double confirmation. You don't need to know the whole path, just take the next step. So your dad is like, yes, please take that step. Go, yes, green light. Like jumping up and down at you to go forward with some kind of idea or change or thought. He's like pushing you down the path gracefully, lovingly. How does R feel about the fact I gave up on communicating? Does he care? Does he care? He cares more than he's letting on, but there's also this like, wow, I didn't think you'd actually do that and stand in your power. And now I need to show you. You made the decision, and now R wants you to feel like it wasn't your decision. Like you made the decision, you stood on the decision, but like now I need to do something that makes you feel like you didn't make that decision and that you are waiting for me to come forward. It's weird. It's like this backwards, like I've convinced myself that's not your final decision and that it won't be your final decision if I can convince you that it wasn't your decision. It's like kind of mind gamey. Is Timothy happily married or will they break up and when? Is Timothy happily married? I would say he values his partner, although it feels like there's a honeymoon phase that has ended. And it might not be as passionate, but it still kind of feels solid. It may be a comfort zone that they're in. Did I do the right thing with DR? What can I know and a song? Love in the dark. Hold on, I can't love you in the dark. I don't think I know these lyrics that well. Hold on. I can't stay this time. Stay where you are. Don't come any closer. Don't try to change my mind. I'm being cruel to be kind. That feels significant. I'm being cruel to be kind. I can't love you in the dark. Did you do the right thing? You slowed things down because you felt like you were losing yourself and you didn't, that was too costly. So yes. Any messages for me and a song? Be a Light by Thomas Rhett. Oh dear. There's either no, it feels like there's two different environments in which like you're around adults, but you're the only adult. You're the only one acting like an adult with like emotional intelligence. There's a need to like know that it's not a you thing. It feels like just a lot of people are getting their internal karma for external choices. And it feels like you're going to be around a lot of people who are experiencing that. And it's not a you thing. It's not you causing it. There's just like a need for awareness about that. Yeah, be a light. Reflect back to them so they can see what they need to heal, but don't absorb and carry what they're trying to get you to hold. Any messages from my higher self and a song? How far we've come by Matchbox 20. Something recently felt like an attack, like an attack on the way that you see the world, like something that happened. Why does that like completely blur out there and not there? Something that something broke your heart but fixed your vision. Um, the pain has a purpose and the purpose comes with understanding. So when you understand what you were meant to learn from it, the pain that you're feeling about it will lift. Is my son Luke going to be helped by the team he has been referred to? I feel like they're going to do their best to help. I feel like they're up against like a battle though. Like something's difficult about this situation, but they have the tools. Okay, so what's being referenced in my mind is like, like at the gym you can use workout equipment one way or you can use it like a different way. This is like typically we use this way. We need to use it a little bit differently for him to because of whatever we're up against here. But because we have knowledge of how to use this the other way, we can more efficiently use it in this altered way to help. So like they have a good chance at being able to help very efficiently. It's just using the tools that they already use in a different way. Does that make sense? Will Cody contact me soon? Not as soon as you'd like. It's giving like what is there to say? Like maybe like I know I messed up or like I know that I didn't close out something properly. It's like I'm not coming forward because what is there to say? I'm not ready to face the truth, but the truth is the truth. A message from my higher self. A message from my higher self. There's something waking back up within you that's been repressed and you're being guided to follow it a little bit more, whether that's like a mindset shift. It could be something as small as like listening to new music. Maybe there's a message in there for you. It's like something small that it's like a river that leads to a bigger body of water, like hypothetically, in whatever this is. So you're being guided to follow it. What spiritual gifts do I have and how to further develop them? As you speak, you will hear. As you use your throat chakra, you will develop clairaudience or further clairaudience. It feels like this is something that you've had but's delayed. So you may notice certain tones and voices that mean certain things, or you may be very sensitive to like pitch of voice and stuff like that. You develop that further as you utilize your throat chakra. It's like one pulls a string on the other. An approximate time frame of when I will find the job for me, weeks or month. Will it be a clerical job? First 3 weeks of summer feels significant. Clerical job. I have High Priestess in reverse. What would be a clerical job that puts you a little bit more dealing with the public? So like I'm clerical, but a little bit more in front of the house. It feels like that's the direction. So I guess that could be like a front desk thing, but like I do clerical and front desk. I don't know if that's what you're meaning, but that's kind of what I'm picking up on. position-wise. How will my new shop go when it opens on Thursday? Layers is playing. It feels like there's an opening and then it's like a trial and error. This is working well. This is not working well. This is what we need to change. This is what we need to fix. This is what we can do to bring in more clients. It feels like a learning process. So it feels like you make good, slow, and steady progress. And as you correct what's holding you back, there's opportunity to move forward. What can I expect with B the rest of the year? Are we improving for the better? No. I'm either making excuses or I'm delaying making changes. And then it's a me thing. So there's nothing you can really do to help me because it's battle within my mind. However, because there's nothing you can do to help me and it's a battle in my mind, I'm going to have to find a way to make you feel like it's something that you are lacking that's causing what I'm lacking, even though it's what I'm lacking, which is a solution to the battle. So I wouldn't really say better, no. But I also feel like you're having a shift in energy that's going to make, even if it's not better, you're going to deal with it better. Because you're kind of like getting into this like, let them. Maybe read that book. I think you need to read that book right now. Not like right now, but soon. Can I get a message from my mom? You're going to notice a whisper in your thoughts that didn't come from you. Something you need to know about the past is some things were left unresolved, but it's okay now. When you are experiencing something that needs a shift in perspective or a shift in the way that you're viewing it, you're going to get some kind of either song or like direct, like maybe somebody will say something that sounds like the way she used to say it or is the same wording. It's like you're going to get a very direct, this is what needs to be shifted or this is what needs to be let go of next time you're experiencing it. So like if I'm experiencing a self-limiting belief, the person next to me says something that sounds like my mom and I'm like, oh, that's it. Okay, let me readjust that belief. It feels like that's kind of what's setting up to happen. What are my spirit guides wanting me to do this week? How will I recognize timing, etc.? Ooh, 3 teeth. Good luck. That's not fun. Not a fun way to spend the day. What do you need to know? In what way could you face how impulsiveness has blocked certain plans from getting to the action stage? How has impulsiveness blocked certain plans from going to action? It feels like either just like journaling about it, talking about it, writing about it, something about it. There's some kind of key of knowledge in the answer to that question. What spiritual gifts other than clairaudience am I gifted with? And thank you. Everyone go watch the podcast, please. Please, please. Or at least if you're not watching the whole thing, watch the chapters that I post. It's like the shortened version. I feel like, okay, so sometimes I do this where either like I'll sit in the sun or I'll close my eyes. So if I'm sitting in the sun with a paper and you let the shadow hit the paper and you draw and then you can kind of like create something, it's almost like It's almost like you're making clouds on the paper from the shadows. Like you trace them and then you can kind of create either like an image or a writing from it. That's one thing I'm picking up on. And the other thing I was picking up on is like how this person's laying, like just laying and waiting for the visuals. Like, show me blank. And then in that state of relaxation meditation, you start to develop the clear sight. That's what I'm picking up on, almost like this billboard in your mind where you can kind of use your imagination to project what your imagination and intuition is showing you. Does DR want to be done with our relationship? Does DR Okay, I'll say this. I don't necessarily think this person wants to be done with the relationship so much as this person is waiting for the relationship to be done. Like I feel like the end is inevitable. I feel like there's nothing I can do about it because I don't know how to change in the ways that I would need to change to make it not happen. So I'm here, but I'm waiting for it to just be done because I almost feel like this person feels like they don't deserve it, or this person feels like the changes that they would need to make are not possible for them to make right now. So it's like I'm not walking away, but I'm waiting for the inevitable ending is kind of how this feels. Well, I have to have back surgery to get rid of my migraines. I feel like there's another option before it gets to that point. Is like what other tools are in the toolbox that we could try out first before that matures to that level. I feel like there's some kind of action that could be taken first. What should I do to get into true crime tarot? What should I do to get into true? Bring a way. This would be like a series of highlighting what's missing or not being talked about in certain cases. So, like, we look at the case of blank. Why is no one talking about blank? Let's pull some cards on that. Feels like maybe that as a series would be a good opener or grower of sorts. Message and a token. And a token. A hammer. The only way to make progress in a situation that feels like it's been stilled or stagnant for a bit of time now is by your hand. Like you're the one that's going to have to grab the hammer and put the boards up or tear the boards down or whatever has to happen, maybe make a pathway. It's like the situation's not changing because the one that needs to change the situation is you. It's like you're the actioner in that situation. Quoted the Rolling Stones line twice. Is there a special significance? Oh no, which Rolling Stones line? I don't know which Rolling Stones line. It feels like certain significance to one person in the chat or one person watching. Like a certain sign from a loved one for a certain person. We have Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands. So this could be a mother, child, aunt, niece or nephew, uncle, niece or nephew. It's like meant to be a certain confirmation for that person. Was the apology from my mom sincere? What was the energy behind your mom's apology? I'm releasing a blockage. I almost want to say by using the child. I'm using you to again. I mean, I'll word it like this. It feels like this apology stems from I'm experiencing guilt in how I acted and I need to get this off my chest. Does that mean that I know that I acted incorrectly? Yes. Am I sorry? I mean, to some degree, but the apology feels to be coming more from like, I need to feel okay with how I'm handling this. So I'm aware at least that I'm not handling it well, and there's then opportunity for healing and growth. Feels like the door for that is at least open or at least ajar. My neighbor attempted an unaliving last Sunday morning, woke up to quite a scene outside. While keeping it respectful, I'd like to check and see how he is and his girlfriend and pets. How is he? Taking the time that he needs to figure out what mental processes need to be changed. So this feels like a lot of therapy, like I need to face it instead of run from it. So with that being said, I feel like there's at least a very valid attempt to get better. Like there's not this, oh well, it is what it is. There's like this, okay, I need to do something differently to be okay. It feels like that's the energy. I feel like his girlfriend feels alone and afraid though. Why am I feeling spaced at the moment? Why am I feeling spaced? It's like you had either like a tower or like a reintegration, and now you're in this rest. It's like you recently were all the way up in terms of like either anxiety or energy or output or input or something. And now it's like, okay, that's not maintainable forever. You had to come down and take a break. And it almost feels like because there was so much going on and now there's a lack of that, you feel like you've lost yourself. But there's just a need to find comfortable solitude at the moment. That's what you're being guided to like try to learn how to embrace. Is Liam taking the job in Portugal? Is Liam taking the job in Portugal? I feel like it's very likely, but there's still something in it that's up in the air. And I feel like it's not wanting to leave someone behind or like, I'm worried about this person if I'm not here type of thing. I feel like more than likely, yes, but there's still one factor that's like, like if I'm 95%, but that 5%, if something happens, that 5% becomes 100%, and that's the 5% that wins. Does that make sense? Like maybe like a parent or something, or where am I? Oh, there. Guidance from spirit. Why have I always been so indecisive? What can I do to improve that? I mean that's abandonment wound. Four of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Eight of Cups, all in reverse. You battle between what you want the decision to be versus what you feel like those around you want from you, and you know this and you're very aware of this, so you do spend a lot of time like, okay, I don't want to make that decision because that's not the decision from me, but like what's going to be affected if I make that decision that's not for me. So it's like you battle back and forth, and that's where the indecisive comes from. You're not really indecisive. uh you know what decision you want to make. You just have people-pleasing tendencies that don't allow you to go forward with the decision that you know you wanna make. Because of, if I abandon myself, then they won't. In your decision making. So it feels like it kinda stems back to that. Whatever's on the bottom of this deck feels important. I don't know what it is. Oh, surrender. Refusing to surrender and just say, "Okay, I detach. You might not like my decision, but you also don't have to deal with the consequences of it. I do." As in you to them. What shadow wound do I need to work on to improve caged freedom? Fear of what might bloom unbound. This wound forms when the idea of true freedom feels both thrilling and terrifying. You might sense your power, your voice, your wildness, but keep it locked away to avoid judgment, chaos, or loss. It can leave you living within invisible walls, yearning to expand while fearing what might happen if you do. It's kind of like this damned if I do, damned if I don't. Like, what are you scared of leaving behind if you actually get what you want to happen to be able to happen? Detachment feels important again. How many weeks until A gets into a program? How many weeks until A gets into a Do you have a proposed date? Because I feel like there's at least a 1-month delay of proposed date. If it's not a proposed date, then it feels like it's like a guesstimate date. Like you're like, okay, it'll more than likely be around this time. I feel like if you add a month to that time frame. I don't feel like the delay is something that is like a sign of things falling apart. I think the delay is just like a clerical thing. Message on my schooling and career. The recent redirection or the last redirection that you had was so things could expand or develop. So it's not that you were heading the wrong way, it's that you needed what happened before to come with you on the new path. Trust the way that you are perceiving the way that things are developing. Trust the way that you are perceiving the way that things are developing. Messages from my archangel for the rest of this month. You're creating the space for yourself for something. So whether that's the space for a conversation, the space for a new opportunity, the space for a new connection, the space for a new mindset, the space for a new hobby or habit, you've been digging, and the digging that has been uncomfortable or painful or tiring is actually creating space for what you want it to call in. So it's like right around the next bend, but there's a need to keep walking until you get there. While holding the small blackish bird, my gentle cat was practically cuddling with it. It stared into my eyes for several minutes. Messages received, but who is the messenger? Message received. Who is the messenger? Eight of Cups in reverse. Someone that you know. It's like, I'm not gone. Someone that you knew when you were younger that has passed, that you trusted. A trustworthy figure from when you were a child that has passed but has been with you ever since. I just had a news thing pop up on my phone, news break. And the first word is doctor. So maybe someone who passed because they were ill, or someone who maybe worked in the medical field. Maybe that's a clue of some sort. Is both of my daughter-in-laws causing me to not have a relationship with my son? Yeah, like planting ideas in someone's head. Locked out, family separation, planting ideas. Planting ideas about family separation. Oh, Emperor. Okay, so I feel like it's not both sets of them. It's like one set that's influencing one son and then the other son influencing the other son. As opposed to like both sets. Um this is like I implant the idea that it's just easier and less drama or less stress to just stay away. Like that idea has been planted. Is my job in jeopardy? Shuffle these again. Is my job in jeopardy? A lot keep popping out. It's the first time that's happened this whole reading or this whole session. Someone would like it to be, but it's not working. This is like an example that I would think of would be a coworker that feels like it's you versus them, but you don't really know that they think this, but like they do. It's like if they were to go and be like, "Oh, this person did this wrong or didn't do this properly or something like that." And then the boss is like, "Okay," and looks at it, and even if it's wrong, it's like, "Oh, it's not that bad." Like, I don't know, like it's something like that where it's like they tried and failed. I've been waking up at 3 a.m. every morning. It's a beautiful confirmation. Is there any clue you can give me about the message? Waking up at 3 a.m. every morning. So it's interesting because that's like the witching hour, right? And then the devil and justice in reverse, 4 of Cups, getting downloads. Getting downloads. You're getting woken up because you're getting downloads of a different understanding of why you had to go through certain cycles. Like in order to break out of the cycle, you need to be able to energetically align with perceiving it in a certain way, and that's happening, I guess, in your dream state. um Hanged Man in reverse. It's like whatever you were resisting before about your shadow work, you're no longer resisting, so you're able to get the downloads to release the chains. How is Catherine coping? How is Catherine doing slashing coping living with her grandmother? uh like a bit of disassociation. I feel like something feels like a big change and I don't know how to all the way process it yet, so I'm kind of retreating into myself until I figure out how I feel about what is difficult to identify. So not that there's anything bad about the environment, it's more just like I'm learning how to navigate the changes. Yep, yeah, it's Audible too. Audible has it, and I think book too. I'm pretty sure there's just one, or at least the one that I'm talking about should be the one that comes up first, the Let Them book. I did see it all over TikTok at one point too. The podcast is on my regular YouTube page. There's the regular full version, and then I'm clipping them into like little short chapters of just like the important parts. So there's that too. Guidance for your abilities with pattern recognition. Any more guidance? Pattern recognition. I love you. 143. Do you have someone on the other side that would be a spirit guide for you? There's a bathtub on the other side. Maybe someone from when you were younger. Because if you know who it is that's communicating to you, you can understand more thoroughly the way that they are articulating the messages to you, and what certain patterns would mean, right? Um, when you are calmly passionate is when you will connect most with your gifts. So you're not rushing, you're not scattered, you're calm, focused, centered, but passionate. That comes from the sacral chakra. So clearing, aligning with that sacral chakra energy. The lesson I'm not learning or avoiding is it that I need to be alone and heal. Not Two of Cups reversed. Yes and no. Lesson I'm not learning or avoiding is that I need to be alone and heal. Kinda. Well, you need this situation because the lesson you're learning is that sometimes people don't mirror back to us who we are. They mirror back to us a version of us that we could have became if we chose to not heal, if we chose to run from the shadows. So now you're being presented with, okay, now that you've seen that, what do you choose? Are you going to choose to go on the difficult path of being alone and healing it? Or are you going to say, okay, I've seen it, but I haven't seen enough. Let me see another example. Let me loop back around and experience the same thing in a different person or in a different scenario with the same person. So it's like you needed to lose yourself to be confident enough to say the only true reflection I'm going to get of myself right now is if I show myself who I am. And it feels like for a while there's been a distraction of other people showing you who you're not, um, by showing you who they're not ready to become in order to have access to you. Can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, you might find you get what you need. Oh yeah, I did reference that twice. And that Queen of Wands was the same. It was over here. It was Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands. What was the other card? I don't remember. You don't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes. A message of confidence is earned, not given. You need to go through things to increase your confidence and your ability to handle them. What does my future self want me to know about the timeline I am jumping into? The timeline I am jumping into. You overcame the shadow that was hiding your confidence. So either your voice, your talent, your the timeline that you're jumping into is one where you show up a lot more confident in knowing who you are. And essentially the door that opens for you is instead of avoiding certain paths that would bring up old wounds, you can go on those paths now. So it's like you have more options because of less avoidance. Should I go to the revealing or stay home? There's issues between some people. Go, stay home. I don't know. I feel like it's like I'm leaning a little bit more towards go, just because if you don't, you're going to be like, should I have gone? Should I have gone? There's nothing you can do about that. Versus if you go and you're like, I don't want to be here, you can leave. So I feel like it's 50-50, but I feel like because if you don't go, you can't get it back. But if you do go, you can leave. I feel like for that reason, I'd push it a little bit more towards go. But I wouldn't have the highest expectations, I guess, is how I would word that. Message from my dad. Message from, oh. The thing I loved most about our time together was the connection that never faded even after death. The wisdom I want to pass down is peace comes from within, not from external validation. Connection never faded even after death. Peace comes from within. There's something that you want an external confirmation of, but it's almost like he's saying there's a need to kind of close that door. Either you don't need it like you think you need it, or there's no way to get it and there's another closure needed in its place. But it's like there's a need to close the door. 2 tickets here. It's like the ticket to the next chapter comes from closing that door. All I Know So Far by Pink is the song. Oh, let me go to this list. Oh, I appreciate you. Did I do a shadow card for you? I don't think I did. Let's do one of these. What shadow is blocking you from making the decision that you need to make about your current situation? The wound of the sleeping gift. When your power stayed hidden because the world wasn't ready. This wound arises when your brilliance or creativity had to be tucked away to stay safe or belong. Making decisions for you. It's like no longer dimming yourself to make other people more comfortable. That's the shadow, not dimming yourself down to what you feel like others can tolerate. Not making yourself digestible. Not making yourself digestible in the context of that decision. Are the changes to the docs I'm creating for my ideal job beneficial? Using Tree of Life as a symbol for pillars of plan and making aesthetic in Canva. Using Tree of Life as a symbol for pillars, plan, and making aesthetic. Is it possible that you're going in the right direction, but something would be better, a little bit more simplified? Like maybe is one part of it maybe a little bit distracting away. How do I word this? Is it possible that the visuals of one area are taking away from the impact of the wording in another area? I would say look into that. So some changes are positive, but some changes need to be looked at from that lens. Thank you. Oh, yay. I'm glad. Everyone go listen to the podcast. I'm going to keep saying that until everyone goes and does it. And like it and share it, please. What do you need to know right now? Impulsiveness in putting down a burden. You're avoiding feeling the wound. Your indecision right now isn't coming from the actual decision itself. It's coming from avoidance of feeling the wound. And I feel like that is in part because you need to kind of name that wound, identify that wound. What is the wound? What does it do to me? What does it cause me to think about myself? it only feels as scary as it feels because it's a shadow and it's unidentified. The more light you shine on it, the less scared you'll be of feeling it and facing it. I have a message for how to handle the difficult person in my space. Oh, not fight back being the song. Wait, before I encourage that, let me pull cards. But Fight Back by Neff X. Oh, no. Yeah. First, know that you're working against someone who's only looking out for themselves. So any of their decisions or actions are going to be taken from that perspective. There is a way to get what you want, and it has something to do with like documenting evidence, proof. So like either gathering this insight for another person to observe, or like making like a, okay, this is why you're making me uncomfortable because of X, Y, and Z. It's like one of those spell it out to me like I'm 5 type things. So it's kind of giving like you need to beat them at their own game with logic, with documented logic. Why did this move? Hold on. Message for the full moon, please. Oh, we have the is Amber still in here? She would know about it. The micro moon. It's like the furthest moon on Saturday. Message for the moon. Or message for the full moon. I have the wrong playlist on. Hold on. No, I don't. What Do I Know by Ed Sheeran. It feels like this moon is bringing to the surface the truth about how you feel about yourself, not just you, like everyone. Like the moon. So the moon is small, which means it's furthest away. So illusions furthest away, seeing the truth about yourself. It feels like the energy around this moon of it is like holding up a mirror. Like, this is how you're treating yourself. Is it good or bad? Do you need to fix it or no? It feels like that's kind of what's coming to the surface this week-ish. Will Trump eliminate income tax? Will Trump eliminate income tax? It's like a replaced, like it looks like I'm doing something here, but I'm really, I don't know, like taking something away and something else comes new, and it's like this isn't there, but that is. But I have more control over the new thing than I did over that. That's how I'm Hierophant in reverse on the bottom of the deck. There is some kind of major change in structure coming with it, is what I'd say. You know when like they rebrand something and it like the box looks different and the logo looks different, but you're like, no, that's still Cheerios. It feels like that. What does my financial future look like? What does my financial future look like? Getting sick and tired of being sick and tired and being like, no, I'm going to do this differently. There, what does your financial future look like? There's an avenue blocked. There's an avenue, like you're walking down a path and there's like trees everywhere and there's like a cut through pathway there that leads you to like this better neighborhood, but you can't see it. But like a deer runs across the street and pushes you right onto the path, and you're like, oh, there's a path here. So like, yeah, that deer came out of nowhere and it felt like a tower, but at the same time, now look, I'm on this path that I didn't see, but I only saw because I was pushed onto it. Feels like that. Like there's like a major change up like that of sorts. And that doesn't have to be changing jobs per se, although it could be. It just feels like a massive shifting in a positive way that comes from something negative. A positive shift that comes from a negative occurrence. Is there any romantic potential with Charlie? Hammer. If you want to sign up for an experience, I don't feel like you're going to get what you want out of here. It will be some kind of lesson that benefits you and helps you grow and evolve, but I don't think it's going to be what you're hoping it would be when you ask that question. I think that there's a lot that it would show you about yourself, but I also feel like at the end, you're going to be like, wow, that was a lot of work for that lesson. Any other messages? Any other messages for you? Be aware of how you might be in a freeze state right now when it comes to certain decisions. And it feels like the freeze state is coming from an imbalance. So either I don't have the energy to make the decision, or I don't have the mental stamina to make the decision because I'm intellectually depleted, or like something along those lines. It's like you have the answers, but not the balance to identify that you have the answer. So there's a need for this like life purge, like purging everything that's not needed. And when you realize what is left, you'll realize that you had exactly what you needed, but you couldn't see it because everything else was blocking it. One second. Thank you. What do you need to know? What do you need to know? The magician is the bridge between strength and passion. Communication is the bridge between strength and passion. Star in reverse. Something you're not expressing from within yourself is the key to unlocking passion. Something you're not expressing from within yourself is the key to unlocking a passion. Whether that's a passion project, a mindset shift, something along those lines. A reading of my energy, please, including how I've grown and my next area of growth. It has felt recently like you just got off of a roller coaster that you don't remember buying a ticket for, and it feels like you signed up to have the experience in that way because you needed to see yourself through the perspective of others, or like through the perspective of the versions of yourself that had to be suppressed before. Inner prosecutor, the wound of the inner prosecutor. Judging yourself before anyone else can. It's like you are coming into being more comfortable being seen and perceived because you're finally seeing yourself, and that's making you feel comfortable to allow others to see you as well. So I feel like you're making really good progress, especially because that was in reverse. So that inner prosecutor is a lot more quiet than they used to be in the past or in past seasons. Oh no. Hold on, I just messed this up. I know I did these. Did I scroll back up? Hold on. Full moon, I did that one. Financial future. I think I just scrolled up by accident. Yeah, I did. Okay. Message for the next week. Message for the next week. I'm gonna hop off in about 9 minutes. Message for the next week. Whatever's falling apart right now is so that you can build something in its place. That quote that's like, I need it to make you uncomfortable or you would have never moved feels to be relevant. Like something's being shaken up, but it needs to be because if not, there would have been stagnancy. The external changes will happen when the internal changes happen. So mindset, internal dialogue, where you're focusing, right? Focusing on solutions instead of the problems. As you make those changes, the external will change as well and open up. Message from Jack and clues to who the past loved one may be that's guiding you. Messages from Jack. Any clues? Who's the person guiding you? Would a family member have passed in like your teenage years? Maybe young adult, but it feels like teenage years. It doesn't feel like you were that close with this person though. Like more of this person has like a soul bond with you or like a family tie or something like that. It feels like a family member, but it feels like a generational tie as opposed to like closeness in this lifetime. Like you knew one another but weren't as close. Queen of Swords is who this person's coming up as energy wise. So intelligent, they know who they are, they're confident, they're direct, they're able to articulate well what they're thinking. And that's the same queen. That's swords. That the Queen of Spades is the Queen of Swords. The wisdom I want to pass down is letting go isn't losing, it's making space for something better. Letting go isn't losing, it's making space for something better. What do you need to know? Did you send a message? I don't know. What do you need to know? The key that you're looking for externally needs to come from within. It's almost like you're waiting subconsciously for permission or to feel like certain circumstances externally have opened up, but it's like you need to take the step and then the next step will be revealed, not the other way around. So it's like the opportunity is waiting for you, not you waiting for the opportunity. Am I too hard on myself or not hard enough? Am I too hard on myself or not hard enough? It feels like it's a learned avoidance of self. When I don't know how to identify and unpack and process emotions, I escape from myself. I focus externally or I focus like on numbing. So I don't really feel like the answer to this question is straightforward. I think it's sometimes you're one and sometimes you're the other, and it depends on if you're trying to disassociate or if you're coming back from it. Almost like to come back from it, you need to coax yourself and be very nice to yourself to let yourself come back. And then once you're back, you're like, nope, mean to myself, bye. So you go away again. So it feels like it's a cycle of that. The stolen stillness. Yeah, it's like you can't let yourself just be. Your mind starts to attack you. Rest never felt safe enough to take. This wound forms when your nervous system was shaped in survival, where slowing down felt dangerous or indulgent. You learn to equate rest with risk, idleness with failure. It can leave you restless, burnt out, and unsure how to let yourself pause without guilt. How do I answer your question? Are you too hard or not hard enough? You need to find the balance in letting yourself just be without having to constantly be thinking about where you're at on that spectrum of overthinking. I feel like when you're able to not overthink is when you have the right balance of that. Reading for the week for Amy. Reading for the week. It feels like there's been this like you've been stuck in a whirlpool. You know, like when you're trying to get out of the ocean and it keeps pulling you back in. It feels like you've been experiencing that. And whatever it is, it's about to kind of like let you go. It's gonna let you get back on your feet and go back to shore. It feels like this was some kind of tower where the belief structure of something was challenged, and you're now in the energy of rebuilding from that. I do 2 more and then I'm gonna hop off. Oh, I messed the screen up. Any way to get confirmation if it's anti-W? Would it make sense to you if I said that this person's home was like their sanctuary? Like either they had a special room in their house or it's just that they like really like that was their space. Like if that's the confirmation, then that's the person. It's like nothing can come in my space that's going to jeopardize my peace. That's my space. Like that feels like that's the energy of that person. All right, everyone, I'm going to hop off. Thank you all so much for being here. Everyone, please go check out the podcast. There will be another episode next week. Also, I'm working on the community page for that, which is where you'll be able to find like all the lessons that we talked about in the podcast from that particular guest and like all their links and all of that as well. That will all be on there in the next couple weeks. What else do I need to say? I'm still going to be doing true crime and news in reverse. Just the podcast is my main focus right now because it's tied into something else that I'm also doing that hasn't come out yet. This one, Sacred Woundings, is I ordered it. It should be here around the 26th of this month. So then I will ship out by the end of the month as long as it's here in that time frame. That's all. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you to my mods. I will talk to you all soon. Please go watch the podcast.